All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video titled, Her Sins Have Reached Unto Heaven. Okay. So, this individual right here has made quite the buzz on social media. Okay, because yesterday he posted this photo of himself that went viral. Okay, it's pretty much a promotional photo for his new album that's supposed to be coming out, I believe, September the 17th. Okay. And as you can see, it's a photo of himself pregnant. Oh, boy. And, of course, we know this is complete and utter madness. But, there's a deeper meaning to this actual photo. Now, we're going to get into the two-dimensional perspective of this photo and how he explains why or where he got the idea to do this foolishness. And then I'm going to go into the three-dimensional perspective of what this is actually going into. Okay? So now, let's first get into the scriptures. All right? Let's get to it. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4, and it reads, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her.'" So the her in this verse is talking about America, okay? The great whore that rideth upon the scarlet-colored beast that sitteth upon many waters, that you read about in the previous chapter, Revelation chapter 17, okay? So the verse goes on to say, "My people," and my people in this verse is referring to the children of Israel. The children of Israel are God's people only. Continuing on, it says that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And guess what? We see all the plagues that's coming upon this place. We see it before our very eyes. Okay, the scriptures do not lie. They are true. All right. Now let's look at the next verse, verse 5, and it reads, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities." So what does that mean? Her sins, talking about America, her sins have reached unto heaven. It means this place is so laden with sin upon sin upon sin, that it's just stacked on top of each other to the point where it's out of control, to the point where the Most High has remembered all the things that this place has done, okay? The sin. And now we're seeing this place get judged. Every single day is something new happening here, okay? And it's not by happenstance. The Most High is judging the great whore, America, for her iniquities. And one of the iniquities this place is getting judged for is the sodomy, the homosexuality. Okay, I got to give it to you straight. Okay, when you read the law, when you read Torah, we learn that the act of homosexuality is, of course, an abomination. Okay, the Most High is not pleased with this place. This place pushes that, okay? And they're using this brother here, Lil Nas X, as one of the forerunners to actually push this. But it's not just homosexuality. It's more than that. And we're going to see what that is as we get further into this video, okay? So now let's go and check out this video from People Magazine concerning Lil Nas X and the this viral photo that he posted. All right.
Nas X is expecting his debut album, Montero, that is, in celebration of the impending delivery of his baby on September 17th. The 22-year-old musician did an over-the-top pregnancy shoot, complete with a bump And Flower Crown, of course, it's Lil Nas X. The rapper tells people exclusively that he came up with the idea to do the shoot after listening to Megan Thee Stallion's verse on his new song, $sign Slime, for the first time, saying, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I immediately called my stylist, he says. She was like, wow, this all comes together. Your album, your baby. I was like, yeah, this is my baby, huh? As a joke, she was like, yeah, you should do a pregnancy shoot. I was like, you know what? That's actually brilliant. He continues. So now we have this entire thing coming out and it's going to be amazing. I commend Lil Nas X and everything that he's doing. I am excited for the VMAs. He deserves all the recognition in the world. From Satan's blood to doing this, from being on a pole, I am all about Lil Nas X. I love the shoot. He looks incredible. And I'm really, really excited to listen to Montero.
Yeah, the chick at the end of that video is clearly a Luciferian herself. But anyway, I took a screenshot of this particular part of that video, which is very telling. Now, this probably looks familiar to all you Drake fans because this is actually a spinoff to Drake's album cover, which is his new album, the album that just dropped, Certified Lover Boy. Okay. Now, why did Lil Nas X do this? Okay. Why did he do this? He took Drake's album cover for Certified Lover Boy and he did a spinoff and put a bunch of pregnant men, when on Drake's album cover, it was a bunch of pregnant women. Okay. Now, I want you brothers to actually keep this in mind because this is actually very important. And I'm going to come back to this towards the end of this video. But I have to build up to this because there's a reason he did this. OK, so now let's get back to it. All right. So this is actually an article from Entertainment Weekly about Lil Nas X's new album cover for his new album, Montero. And the title of the article is this. It says, Lil Nas X's Montero album art is full of Easter eggs for fans. Now, why did they word it like that? That the album art is full of Easter eggs. Okay. The title of this article alone lets you know that the photo is pagan in nature. Okay, it's in veneration of the Babylonian goddess, the queen of heaven, Ishtar. Okay, this is why he dressed up pregnant with a band of flowers on his head. And there was flowers everywhere in that particular photo because that's who he's venerating. That's one part of the photo. Okay. That's subliminal. Okay, that's why the title of this particular article states that it's full of Easter eggs. Okay, when you look at the so-called goddess Ishtar, she pretty much gave birth to Tammuz immaculately without the sperm of a man, but the Easter eggs it represents fertility because Ishtar is a goddess of fertility. Okay, that's who they are venerating. All right, and then when you look at, I believe it's either ancient Greece or ancient Rome, she's known as Gaia, the goddess of the earth goddess. Okay, so that's part of what this particular photo of Lil Nas X was going into. Okay, so now moving forward with the article, and it reads, ahead of the release of Lil Nas X's highly anticipated first ever studio album, Montero, the quickly ascending rapper and singer shared the prismatic cover art, and is full of Easter eggs you'd think it were a Taylor Swift release. The next paragraph states, there are many references and hidden gems in this heavenly imagery. There's nothing heavenly about that imagery. Okay, that's blasphemy. But moving forward, It's clear Lil Nas X has been intricately weaving together his album for some time. This week also brought word of the full track list for Montero, which includes collaborations with Elton John, another sodomite, on the song One of Me, Meg Thee Stallion on $Slime, and that's where he said he got the inspiration to actually do that particular photo shoot of himself pregnant was from Meg Thee Stallion's verse from that particular song on his album. Okay. Then it goes on to say Miley Cyrus on Am I Dreaming and Doja Cat on Scoop. All right. So moving on with the article, and it states Genesis 2. Let's see. Lil Nas X confirmed on Twitter shortly after the artwork dropped that the imagery was inspired by artist John Stevens' Genesis 2. He also included a Bible verse from the book of Genesis. Thus, the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Okay. And now here's an actual photo of the actual tweet. Okay. We see here, this is his Twitter account. And we see that he's pretty much given us what's the inspiration behind the album art. And it says artist John Stevens. Art is Genesis 2. That's his creation. And we see here that we have the original art from John Stevens on the left, and we have the album art for his new album Montero on the right. Okay, and we have the verse above it. Okay, so this is blatant blasphemy. Okay. And, you know, he's taking a Bible verse and he's trying to mix his Luciferian ideologies with the Holy Scriptures. But again, for the brothers in the know, you should already know that the left-hand path is meant to mimic the right-hand path. Okay? And it's very telling that on the album cover, I don't know if you can see it clear, but we're going to get a better look. That you know, he says it's supposed to be biblical, but it looks more like Greek mythology to me. Okay, and on the album, of course, it's supposed to be a picture of him naked, which is very telling because when you read the scriptures, you know, sometimes the word naked is actually used to describe sin. Okay. He's actually referring to this as a Garden of Eden, which is very telling because when you read the scriptures about Adam and Eve being naked, it doesn't mean they were literally naked. It means that they were in sin. Okay? When you go to the book of Exodus and you read about how Aaron crafted the golden calf and pretty much, you know, he found out he knew what he did was wrong. He stated that he made Israel naked when he did that, okay? Meaning he caused them to sin, all right? And also, if you look at the album cover, which is to the right there, there's a whole bunch of butterflies in the actual album cover, okay? And we know that the butterfly is a symbol on the left-hand side that they love to use for monarch assets. Okay, it's a symbol that's supposed to represent transformation. Okay, a lot of times you'll see a lot of these stars with the butterfly tattooed on them. Okay, they're monarch programmed assets. Okay, and you know, Lil Nas X is being used to for the transformation of the norms of this world, okay, to be more acceptant of, you know, the LGBTQ or, whatever it is, to be more accepting of those type of things. Okay. So now continuing on with the article, and it reads, he noted further how the album art is a continuous loop to represent the circle of life. Biblical imagery has been a common motif throughout the singles and music videos released for Montero. The art for Montero, Call Me By Your Name, the album's title track, mirrored Michelangelo's creation of Adam. Sun Goes Down and Industry Baby also featured Lil Nas X Cushion with Clouds. And all this actually goes into what I'm about to bring out, because God, I don't want to jump the gun. I'm gonna keep going. It says it's as if the rapper, who's embraced and celebrated his sexuality through his music, is repurposing Christian imagery to create something uniquely queer and abominable. Okay. Now moving forward a bit, here is the actual art to the 3 songs that he just listed. All right. It's again, looking at this, oh boy, I'm trying my best not to jump the gun, because the whole photo shoot, I said, it's in veneration of the mother goddess, but it's in veneration of another so-called entity that they venerate. Okay, and okay, spoiler alert. It's Hermes, okay? It's actually Hermes. And we're going to get into that a little later, but that's who they're also venerating, okay? Hermes is also whom the world knows as Cupid. Okay, but we're going to go forward. I don't want to jump the gun. All right. So now moving forward with the article, and it reads, to show how everything's connected in the Montero cinematic universe, the video for Sun Goes Down features a moment where Lil Nas X is kneeling beside his bed in prayer. Among the photos on his wall is a sketch of the Montero artwork. Okay, so this is also very telling. It lets you know that he's MK Ultra programmed. That's why he has the blonde hair. Okay, that blonde hair is symbolic. It lets you know that, a particular asset has been programmed under the programming. The blonde hair is also for another entity that they venerate, which is Hippocrates, the so-called boy god of silence and mischief. Okay? But as we know, he's not praying to the Most High. That's not who they venerate. They venerate the different pagan gods and goddesses of old. All right? So now let's move further into the article, and it reads, another inspiration Lil Nas X mentioned to his followers on social media was, believe it or not, SpongeBob SquarePants. Wow. He shared an image of the cartoon queer icon. Nickelodeon released an image of SpongeBob alongside some of the network's other LGBTQ characters to celebrate Pride 2020, getting raptured in a rainbow beam. Now, on the left-hand side, we know the rainbow. They say it represents the LGBTQ. And we also know that the rainbow is supposed to be a portal, okay, or a bridge from the physical world to the spiritual world, okay? That's why on the movie E.T., when he went back into space, so to speak, notice that the spaceship left a trail of a rainbow behind. Okay, that was E.T. going from the physical world back to the spiritual world, because Elliot had summoned him to the physical world from the spiritual world, okay, in that movie. And then when you look at the movie The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy sung that song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, okay? That was in reference from from the physical world to the spiritual world. That's why when she was in the physical world, it was in black and white. Then she, the house was caught into the tornado, which is pretty much a psycho pump. And then once she got to the spiritual world, everything was in color. Okay. So now here's an actual tweet of the two photos they were talking about how SpongeBob was raptured up into a rainbow. Then if you look at the album art for Lil Nas X's new album, you see he's being raptured up, and you see a rainbow, a circular rainbow right there in the midst of him. Okay. So again, all of this, it has a Luciferian type of feel to it. That's all this is going into. It's Luciferianism. Okay, there's nothing biblical about this. Okay, this is actually blasphemy. All right. So now let's get into what I've been talking about the whole video. I was trying not to get ahead of myself, and I gave the little spoiler alert. But what this particular photo of him being pregnant also represents, like I said before, is the veneration of Hermes, which is the quote-unquote divine hermaphrodite, a.k.a. Rebus. Okay? That's who Lil Nas X is supposed to represent, okay? Rebus, which is the coming together of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, okay, to create what's known as Rebus, the divine hermaphrodite, okay, the coming together of both genders. That's really what that particular photo of him pregnant actually represents, okay? Now, let's get into this article from Wikipedia, all right? So this is the article from Wikipedia, and it reads, "The rebus is the end product of the alchemical magnum opus, or great work." Okay. It goes on to say, after one has gone through the stages of petrification and purification, separating opposing qualities, which is the masculine and feminine, those qualities are united once more in what is sometimes described as the divine hermaphrodite, a reconciliation of spirit and matter, a being of both male and female qualities as indicated by the male and female head within a single body. Just simply look at the photo to the right, okay? The sun and the moon correspond to the male and female halves, just as the red king and white queen are similarly associated. Okay, I did a 2-part video where I actually talked about the red king and the white queen, if I'm not mistaken, and the Log by Omer series that I did not too long ago. Okay, so the article goes on to say the rebus image appeared in the work Azat of the philosophers by Basil Valentine in 1613. Okay, so as we see here, this is just proof of what I was saying. Lil Nas X is supposed to represent the rebus, the divine hermaphrodite, the coming together of the opposites, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Okay, and of course, also in the photo, he had on the all white, which represents rebirth. Okay. Then he had the bed of flowers on his head and him holding the flowers, okay, which is also in veneration of the quote unquote mother goddess, which is also pushed in this society, okay. So pretty much what we're going into is the worship of the divine feminine, or the mother goddess, and also the worship of the divine child, or which is also the divine hermaphrodite. Okay. Another phrase the divine hermaphrodite goes by is also the golden child. Okay. That's also the divine hermaphrodite, which is funny. Not to get too far off topic, but we know that Eddie Murphy played in that movie The Golden Child, right? Which is very telling, because it was the big controversy over him being caught with transvestite back in the day. Okay, but it's another topic for another day. But that's pretty much what this is going into. The veneration of the mother goddess and the divine hermaphrodite, the divine child. Okay, that's what he represents here. Okay. So I think this is actually a good place to end this particular video. I seen it on Instagram the other day, and this pretty much is going viral. And I said, you know what, let me just touch on this particular photo for a minute, and just give my perspective of what it's actually going into, because on my channel we look at things from not only a biblical vantage point, but a spiritual vantage point. So here I like to point out some of the stuff they try to do on the left hand side, so brothers and sisters can be aware, and can be able to avoid these things whenever they see it. All right, so you won't be in the dark about what they're doing. Okay, so you won't get caught up in it. All right, but with that, of course, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom, family.